All right, this is the four-voice class. We're going to begin some warm-up at 200 words per minute. We have Mr. Ordo for the people and Mr. Grun for defense. I am attorney for the people, Mr. Ordo.
I'm the witness.
I am the court. I am attorney for defense, Mr. Grun.
And we are starting warm-up on page 11, line 13.
Reading in.
We are reading in 15th place.
Thank you. Okay. Begins with the witness, for the record. No, I did not say to them, Your Honor, my intentions were that if I could determine that the gun was stolen, that I would buy it. If it were not, I was not going to buy the gun.
Your Honor, my objection again. That is not responsive to the question. He is telling us what thoughts he was having. I don't know if that is relevant or responsive to Mr. Ordo's questions as to the events that took place. I'm again objecting that the responses are not necessarily to the question. He is interjecting his own thoughts and his own feelings. I don't believe that is relevant to the situation.
Well, the reason I overruled your objection, Mr. Grun, it seems to me that the witness is describing the meeting and the conversation he had with Mike and Steve in that area.
And when he responds he thought the gun might be stolen, I wanted to be cautious. I don't believe that's part of the description of the meeting. I think that's his own thoughts. That's what went on in the narrative.
Overruled. Next question.
After you had finished discussing the gun with Steve and Mike Spock, what happened next?
I asked them if it was hot.
And was there a response?
Yes, there was.
What was the response?
That yes, it was.
Who said that?
I'm sorry, that's not true. That's not a correct statement.
What was the response?
The response was...
Objection as to foundation, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Mr. Malone, you indicated that you asked a question, was the gun hot, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did one of the persons at the scene answer that question?
Yes.
Which person at the scene answered the question?
Steve.
What was his response?
I would object to that.
This apparently is from an unknown person not identified in these proceedings. Do you wish to be heard, Mr. Ordo?
Well, Your Honor, my reason is that I might be able to qualify the statement as an adoptive admission in respect to the defendant Spock, and that the statement was made by an individual in his presence, and he did not disclaim the statement in any way.
That's not too good a reason for a response, Mr. Ordo. It seems to me, since count one charges a conspiracy, and the defendant was identified at the scene of this transaction with this unknown person, Steve, that any statement made by Steve is admissible against the defendant Spock as part of the conspiracy charge. So what I am going to overrule the objection as to the defendant Spock, sustain the objection as to the defendants Stone and Fowler.
Very well, Your Honor. Again, the question is, Mr. Malone, what was the statement? What was said in response to your question?
Steve said that the gun was stolen.
After that statement was made, what happened?
They asked me if I wanted to buy...
Objection, vague as to who asked him.
Sustained.
Very well, Your Honor. After that statement was made by Steve, did you speak with someone else after that?
Yes, I did.
Who did you speak with?
I talked to Mike.
And what transpired between you and Mike?
Mike said that he had a fur coat and wanted to know if I wanted to buy it, and he would like to show it to me.
Did he show it to you?
Yes, he did.
And did you have a chance to look at it carefully?
Yes, I did.
Did you notice anything peculiar about the coat?
It had the initials in it embroidered inside, M-A-W.
What transpired, Mr. Malone, with regard to that specific coat?
I told him that I was not sure of the value of the coat and that I would have to check it out, but I didn't think that it would be very valuable, probably at the most $50.
Did you buy it?
No, I did not.
Did the coat ever change hands between you and Mike Spock?
I gave it back to him.
And did you observe what he did with it?
Put it back in a pillowcase.
And then did you observe what he did with the coat after that?
Put it in the car he drove up in.
Okay. After the exchange between you and Mike Spock with regards to the coat, what happened next?
They asked me if I was interested in ivory.
Specifically, who were you speaking about?
Mike.
Mike Spock?
Yes.
And what was the purpose in regards to his question?
I told him probably, but I didn't know that I would have to see it.
What happened next?
He said that he had to go get it, and it would take him 20 minutes or so to pick it up. I said, look, let's not play this kind of game, you know. If something is wrong here, and if I were the man and I was going to take you down, I would probably do it. Does that make sense? And they said yes, and they let me follow them to a residence.
Okay, so you in fact followed them from that scene?
Yes, I did.
You all left?
Correct.
Where did you go?
Went to the city of Folsom on Pine Avenue. The exact address, I just can't recall, but it's written down.
Could it be 912 Pine?
Yes.
Upon arriving at that address, what did you do?
I was invited inside the house, and I went in with them, and they brought out some ivory and a box that they had and started putting it on the coffee table. This was in a room.
Now, you used the word they. Who specifically are you talking about?
At this point, Mike was taking out the ivory, and Steve was sitting in a chair in the corner.
What transpired with regard to the ivory?
I went through the ivory, looking at it, attempting to place some value on it, and it was very difficult. I did not know the value, but I knew it was expensive.